Good morning. It is very early Thursday morning, July 9th, 2026. We have a very serious situation that's going to be developing over southern Canada in the upper Midwest over the next several days. This is something that the truth is I've never seen in my life. Dew points like this, which will be occurring this far north up into Canada. It's not just that. These are numbers that I never would have thought are even possible when you go this far north. These are numbers that are the very peak. This is the very top of the top in the world. Globally, this is as high as they get. Dew points in the 80s, with the exception of the Persian Gulf, where the dew points go into the upper 80s. Really, this type of thing occurs in the most oppressive heat waves on the Midwest Corn Belt when years are not drought years. The air comes in off the Gulf of Mexico, totally loaded with moisture, and just intensifies. The moisture intensifies as it goes over the Midwest Corn Belt, but this is even further north than that. And what's totally amazing is that the dew points are just going to go up, and the peak dew points are occurring in Canada with dew points in the 80s. This is something that sticks out to so strongly. If you go to windy.com and look at the wet bulb globe temperatures, it's a shock in the face when you just see what these temperatures are forecasted to be for the beginning part of next week up into Canada. If other meteorologists or other forecasts or other weather news is not talking about this, it's probably because there's other weather events and other weather things which are going on in the country which other people are focusing on. But this is something which is totally spectacular. It's really remarkable. It can't be overemphasized. This is also a danger, a very serious heat risk which will be developing. We're talking about places up in Winnipeg. This is Winnipeg. I believe that's in Manitoba, Canada, and even places further north than that. Wet bulb temperatures according to the European model, and the European model underdoes it often when it comes to wet bulb temperatures going into the 80s for Winnipeg. It's not just that. Dew point, Gladstone. I believe this is Gladstone, Manitoba. It looks like Gladstone is a part of Winnipeg, where we have the actual dew point is headed up into the low 80s for next week. It's not just that. This is where the peak is going to be occurring. We have a dew point chart right here, a dew point map. I currently have super slow internet over here, but nonetheless, we do have this dew point map, which once it gets loaded, we're going to see that the dew points are extremely high, with temperatures going into the upper 90s. It's not just that. This is totally amazing. You know, some of these weather apps have a setting where you could, instead of the barometric pressure, you could set the H to stand for the high of temperature. You have the most intense heat, if you measure it in just temperature, is occurring in Montana next week. And also the extreme southwest portions of North Dakota of 108 degrees Sunday afternoon. Billings, Montana, 107 degrees tells us the European computer model. And actually, if you look at the weather map, you'll see that windy.com European computer model shows Montana even outdoes according to that H thing, outdoes the Arizona. I think in the actual temperatures, we're going to see some areas in the desert southwest go into the 100 teens. In fact, the dew points, as intense as they are, we also have to talk about the heat dome, which is redeveloping stronger, more powerful than last week, and it's redeveloping significantly further north. If people haven't heard about it, it's because it's so far north. It's going into Canada, the center of this heat dome. You look at the European computer model, it's no longer a 595 decameter. We're talking about 600 decameter heat dome for developing for next week, taking over the country in a very solid way. Looking at these forecasts from different meteorologists, it's just shocking how low they are. We're talking low 90s for some of these cities, for the European computer model model, the world's most accurate model, is forecasting temperatures to go into the triple digit. Bismarck, North Dakota has an explanation on it, but even they acknowledge the fact that the temperatures still might be hotter than what's currently being forecasted. This is a very significant heat dome. What we have to realize is that the water vapor, high dew point air, absorbs much of the heat, so the sun is not as efficient at heating very humid air. This air is so humid that the heat index will likely be 20 degrees warmer than what the actual temperature is. Just to put this into perspective, Canada, the Environmental Canada, has already issued special weather statements for Canada, for Winnipeg, Canada, in that area. The Environmental Canada works a little bit differently than the United States National Weather Service. They have something called the Humidex, and they say that due to the high humidity, the Humidex is expected to bring temperatures to 45 degrees Celsius or higher. That's 113 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. And what makes this super impressive is the fact that that's where the peak is going to be. This is the hottest air. All in all, if you measure it all together, the hottest air is occurring in southern Canada for next week, and it's very solid. Sunday evening, it's just sauna-like conditions. This is very serious stuff. And the other thing is that there's something called the Ring of Fire. We've mentioned it many times. It's right around the heat dome. This is, once again, a contour heat dome. It's a closed heat dome, so the thing gets brutally hot. One of the things that made it that the heat dome of last week that was not as hot as 1995, despite the fact that the decameters were higher, was because the heat dome occurred further south. It centered itself over Nashville, Tennessee, and that we'll get into, well, things didn't get as impressive as they did in 1995. But this one is all the way up north. The days are very long up there. You look at the 8 p.m. temperature, the sun is shining strong. And when that ring of fire moves over the area, that's when we can get some extremely serious thunderstorms, but not during the days of the compressional warming. So that's something to look into for people who are going up there, living up there, and even in the upper Midwest as well. And the truth is that this heat dome is solid across the country in general. It's, when you see these forecasts of highs only in the low 90s for many of these cities, even here in the Midwest, it's really a very big question to me, a very big question of how these forecasts could be forecasting such low temperatures. Lower 90s that's not what we're talking about here. Mid 90s at least. Mid-90s, 95-degree heat. This is solid 95-degree heat or higher. We're getting numbers in of 108, 111, 109. Granted, these computer models could overdo it. That's true. The computer models could overdo it. So to cut off 10 degrees, we're still getting temperatures in the mid and upper 90s. And it's a very impressive heat dome, without a doubt. And the humidity is occurring very far north. The days are very long up there. Granted, the sun's angle is a little bit lower, but the solar insolation is still, even with the lower sun angle, there's still more solar insolation in this area than there is in Nashville, Tennessee. It's a big shocker. It's only true around this time of the year, and there's actually areas even further north which have even more solar insolation. So very intense stuff that's going to be going on over the next several days. That's something that I thought should just be pointed out. There really is an extreme danger of heat. I really think that the forecasters are underdoing it on this one in Canada. Right now, they're putting it at the heat level risk, I believe, of a 2, saying that it could hit a 3 with a slight chance of it reaching the extreme level. I think we're going to see it go up. You could always stay in touch with your local Environmental Canada Weather Bureau or the National Weather Service here in the United States of Bismarck, North Dakota. That one seems to be covering it quite well.